This is your powerful flow class. Welcome. Today we are exploring the sacral chakra, and this is your second chakra. It's located just below your belly button, and it is related to or encompasses this lower belly area, including your reproductive organs. So, this center is associated with creativity, not only through procreation, so creating children, creating life, but also creating life in your own life in all sorts of different ways. In your home, if you're an artist, just in general, creating your life. It also has to do with your emotions. So the element that is associated with this area is water. So if you think about your emotions, they're very fluid naturally. So you can think in terms of it's like your pelvis is a basin, is a bowl. And so you can think of it in terms of the bowl of your pelvis holding this water. And then it also has to do with change, with flux. And that's one of the places that I'd really like for us to be with today during this practice. The fluidity of the movement and of the change. So we experience changes in our life regardless. That's something that we can't stop, nor would we want to. But those changes can sometimes feel difficult, and we resist those changes, right? So these movements and the meditation that goes along with these sacral chakra classes, yoga classes, allow us to get more in touch with being able to ride those waves, right? Being able to flow with the current, to go with the flow. When we can go with the flow of life, go with the flow of change, oh, it's so much easier. It's so much more delicious then. We're not fighting against the current. So go ahead and close your eyes here. And tune into your breath. And perhaps you breathe in to the count of 3 or 4, and breathe out to the count of 3 or 4. And allow that breath to go all the way down through your body and then to kind of pool in that sacral area. So it's deep. Remember, it's deep in the lower belly. And then when you exhale, allow it to come back through your body. Exhale through your nostrils. This area also has to do with sensuality. So experiencing all of your emotions and your feelings, your 5 senses. So see if you can find the yumminess in all of this as well. And bring your hands to heart center, and we'll open our practice today with one audible sigh followed by an om. Take a nice deep breath in. Ah. And another deep breath. Relax your hands. Slowly open your eyes. And to begin with, we're going to do just some cat-cows, some seated cat-cows. So I'd like you to get in touch with this bowl, with this basin of the pelvis. So you're going to tilt your tailbone back and up for the cow, and then curl it all in. So pulling the navel in and up for your cat. And inhaling for your cow, exhaling with your cat. And just feeling how that pelvis, how that bowl is tilting. And you can imagine maybe that water that's down there, the element for the sacral chakra, is kind of sloshing around. So come back to neutral and then come into a tabletop position. Take any movements that your body feels it wants to take this morning or today, depending on when you're doing it. Maybe some hip circles, maybe some barrel rolls. And then bring it back to neutral. And then from here, you're going to exhale, bring the left knee in towards your chest. And then circle the knee here. Taking some hip circles in, table. And then circle it the other way. And then bring it back to neutral, set that knee down. And then we're going to do the other leg. Bring the right knee into the chest. Take some circles here. And in the other direction. And then lower that knee down. Let's take a few more cat-cows here. And then you're going to exhale, pressing into the hands, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, come into your down dog. Great. Inhale, lift the left leg up, 3-point, bend that leg, open up the hip. Take some hip circles here. We're really getting these hips lubricated. This is getting synovial fluid into your hips. And then you're going to square your hips. That left leg is still bent. And take your knee like you're drawing a figure 8 here. And then take it in the other direction. Drawing that figure 8. And then straighten that left leg back out. And exhale, bring it in between your hands. Lower the back knee. Just finding a low lunge here. Place the hands. Step it back, 3-point. Lower that left leg. And inhale, the right leg lifts up, 3-point. Bend the leg, open the hip up. Take your hip circles here. And then level the hips. Right leg is still bent. You're going to take your circle 8s here. So you're just drawing the figure 8 with your knee. And then take it in the other direction.
And straighten that right leg back out, 3-point. Inhale, exhale, bring the foot in between your hands. Lower that back knee. Coming back into your lunge on this side. And then from here, you're simply going to bring your right leg back to meet your left. Come into a table pose. I'm going to face you for this part of what we're doing here. So from here, you're going to take the left leg back, straight back behind you. And then you're going to bring it to the side. And then you're going to lower that left foot down to the mat. Okay. From here, take your hips back towards your foot. So it's like you're in a modified child's pose here. And take your hands, walk them out in front of you. Lower your chest down. Then you're going to walk your hands back in towards you. Lift the hips up. Lift the arms up. So now we're in gate pose. Okay. So take a nice deep inhale here, and then you're going to exhale over to the left. So I'm not mirroring you right now. So you can just listen. And then inhale, lift it up. Exhale, take the right hand to the mat. Left arm comes over your ear. And then we're going to flow here. So exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale back up to the center. You're going to bring your hands down again. Hips come back again. Arms come out in front. And then you're going to walk your hands over to the left. So as far as feels comfortable to you, if you need to make any modifications, of course, please do. Maybe your right hand comes on top of your left here. Getting a nice stretch in that left leg and in the right side body. And then inhale, bring your hands back to center. Come back into your tabletop position. Take a cat-cow here. Come back to neutral. Take the right leg out behind you, pressing the heel back towards the back wall, and then bring that right leg out to the side. Deliver the right foot to the floor. And then again, you're going to press your hips back, coming into this modified child's pose, reaching the arms out far in front of you. And then walk your hands back towards your body, lift your hips up. Arms rise up, come into gate. And then from here, you're going to exhale, bring the right hand to the right leg. Left arm comes over the left ear. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Finding the fluidity here, right? Finding this wonderful flow with the breath. This vinyasa. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. And exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. And then from here, you're going to take the hands down again. Take the hips back. Arms come out in front of you. And then arms walk over to the right. Maybe that left hand comes on top of the right hand. And then bring it back to center. Lift it back up into your tabletop position and press back into child's pose. Few breaths here. Inhale, lift your head and torso, place your hands, press it back, down dog. Left leg lifts up, inhale. Exhale, bring that left foot forward. You're going to open out the right foot, come into warrior two. So take a few breaths here to find your warrior two. So find that pelvic bowl so that you're not sloshing any of your water out right now. Then you're going to inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. And then you're going to circle that right arm down, come into a lunge. Briefly here. Place your hands, step back into plank. Lower down. Inhale up. We're just going to take a low cobra to begin with here. And exhale, press it back. Down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, 3-point. Exhale, bring that foot in between the hand. Pivot the back heel down. Inhale, lift it up. Warrior two. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, come into triangle pose. Trikonasana. And then you're simply going to exhale into a lunge here. Take an inhale. Exhale, place your hands, step back, plank. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Inhale. Let's do a cobra again. You can take it a little higher if you'd like to. And exhale, press it back. Down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts up, 3-point. Exhale, bring the foot in between the hands. Pivot the back heel. Inhale it up, warrior two. Exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, come straight into triangle pose. Inhale it back up to warrior two. Exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, reverse. We're going to flow through this a couple of times. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, bring it back up to warrior two. Now this time, you're going to take your feet so that your toes are pointing out about 45 degrees. Come into goddess pose. I'm going to turn around here so I'm facing you guys. So you're coming into goddess pose. Let's take goddess arms. So it's a fiery pose, but there is this watery aspect. Again, in the pelvis, pulling your knees back towards the back wall. Inhale, straighten the legs. And then you're going to bend the left leg, come into Skandasana. So you have a couple of different options here. You can come all the way down if that's in your practice. You can keep the hips lifted up. You can bring the hands to the heart. And we're just going to flow back and forth here. You might have to adjust your stance. So again, finding the fluidity of this movement, finding the deliciousness of the movement as well. Within perhaps some, we'll just say, sensations. And then the next time your left leg is bent, you're going to pivot to the front of your mat. Lower the back knee down so you're in a low lunge here. And then you're going to lift it up. Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Straighten the front leg. Come into Ardha Hanumanasana. Then we're going to flow through that. So you're going to inhale up, Anjane. Exhale it back, Ardha Hanuman. Inhale it up. Exhale it back. And again, inhale it up. Exhale it back. And this next time, inhale it up. You're going to exhale your hands down on either side of the front foot. Step it back into plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale it back. Down dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts up 3-point. Exhale, bring that foot in between your hand. Pivot the back heel. Inhale it up, warrior 2. Exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale it up, warrior 2. Exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Again, inhale up into your warrior 2. Exhale, sink deeper. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Oops. Inhale into your warrior 2. Pivot your toes so that they're about 45 degrees. Both legs are bent. Come into your goddess pose here. Close your eyes. Inhale, lift up, straighten your arms. Bend that right leg. Find Skandasana here. And again, we're going to flow with this. So whichever version works for you here. We come to the mat with the body that we're in on this particular day, right? So you do what you can. You do sometimes stronger variations than perhaps what I'm doing. Sometimes less strong variations. All right. Next time the right leg is bent, you're going to pivot to the front of the mat, come into a low lunge, deliver that back knee to the mat, and inhale, lift it up for Anjaneya Asana. Exhale, straighten the front leg, Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, Anjaneya. Exhale, Ardha. Inhale, Anjaneya. Exhale, Ardha. Inhale, Anjaneya. And this time you're going to place your hands on either side of that front foot and step it back. Take your vinyasa. Breathing, connecting to that breath, allowing it to travel all the way down to that sacral chakra. Bring your left foot forward in between your hands. Drop the back knee. And you can take that left foot over to the left a little bit here. Take the left hand inside the left foot. We're coming into lizard pose. So you have options here. You can stay here. You can also lift the back knee. Pull the right hip forward, left hip back, wherever you are. And then you can also come onto your left forearm, or both forearms if you'd like to. Great. Lift up. Then from here, you're going to take that left foot over to the right of your mat and lower down into a pigeon pose. We're going to keep the torso upright first here. Wherever you are, make sure that that left foot, the outer left foot, is really pressing down into the mat. Take a look back at your back foot and leg. Make sure that everything's lined up regardless of where your feet are. So toes lined up with heel, lined up with knee, lined up with hip. Right hip pulls forward, left hip pulls back. And exhale, come forward. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up, place your hands, and exhale, press back down dog. Maybe you walk your dog a little bit here. Inhale, the right leg lifts up, 3-point. Exhale, bring that foot in between the hands, lower the back knee. Take the right foot out to the right a little bit here. Place the right hand inside the right foot. And take your preferred variation of lizard. So either lifting that back leg or coming onto the forearm or a combination thereof. Again, pulling the right hip back, left hip pulls forward. Soften your jaw. Soften your tongue. Soften your eyes. From here, lower that back knee. Lift your torso up. Bring the right foot over to the left. Again, making sure that you're pushing the right outer foot strongly into the mat. So you have a couple of options. You can have your foot kind of flointed here. So it's kind of like almost pointed, but then your toes are pressing up, but pressing it out into the mat. And take a look at your back leg. Make sure it's lined up. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold forward. If you notice yourself maybe feeling some emotions, allow them to be there, embrace them. It's just like water, they want to flow. And inhale, lift up. Place your hands, tuck your back toes. Come into your 3-point here. Lower the right leg down. Walk your dog out. And then from here, you're going to walk your feet forward towards your hands. I'm going to face you right now here. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. In your Uttanasana, you're going to heel toe your feet out so that they're hip width or a little bit wider. Maybe take your toes so they point out just a little bit. And then lower your hips down, Malasana. Hands come to heart center, pressing into your arms with your legs, into your legs with your arms. Engaging that lower belly. And the color for this sacral chakra is a bright, vivid orange. So imagine that there's a bright orange spark in that sacral chakra area.
and that it's growing, and that it's radiating, and that it's nourishing you. This beautiful, vibrant orange. And then from here, inhale, lift your hips up, bring your feet back to hip width apart. Inhale up halfway, offer your heart. Exhale, release, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Maybe you take a moment or two here to touch in on an intention for your practice. And inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, release forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, place your hands, step or float back. Chaturanga, inhale up. Up dog or cobra. And exhale back. Down dog. Inhale yourself forward into plank. Come on the outside edge of your right foot and onto your right hand. Bring your left foot to meet your right, so coming into a side plank here. And then you're going to bend that left leg. Take a hold of the foot with your hand. See about maybe straightening that leg in front of you. Now see about maybe lifting the leg up. Make sure that you're pressing the hips up towards the ceiling. This is going to help out a lot in this pose. Now you might just want to stay here with the leg bent. That's fine. And you're going to slowly release that left leg. Come back into your side plank. Come into your regular plank. Lower down, take a vinyasa here. Coming back into your down dog. Inhale, forward plank. This time we're going to roll onto the left foot, left hand. Come into your side plank. And then bend that right leg. Maybe straighten it out in front of you. Then maybe lift it up. Pressing those hips up towards the ceiling. And then slowly lower the right leg down. Come back into your plank. Take your vinyasa. Lower your knees down. Bring your toes together. Press your hips back. Come into child's pose. Take a few breaths here. Beautiful. All right, press yourself back into your down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up, 3-point. Exhale, bring the foot in between the hands. Inhale, lift it up, warrior 2. Exhale, take it deeper. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, come into triangle pose here. And then you're going to look to the front of your mat. Bend your front leg. Come up into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So pressing strongly through that back heel towards the back wall. From here, you're going to level your hips. Bend the right leg. Begin to lift the torso up, coming into stork pose. Then cross your right ankle over your left thigh, pulling your right knee back, and lower your hips into your figure 4 pose. Now, some of you, if you have arm balance from here, take it. We're not going to be here for too much longer, though. Keep breathing. So inhale, lift it up. Press that right foot back, come through a warrior 3 briefly, and then see about opening it back out into Ardha Chandrasana. From here, deliver the back foot to the back of the mat. Open it up, Trikonasana. And exhale, place the right hand down. Come into a lunge here. Drop the back knee. Place the right hand on the mat. Bend your right leg and reach back with your left hand. You also have the option of coming down onto your forearm here. And then exhale, place your hand, press it back, down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts 3-point. Exhale, bring the foot in between the hand. And you're going to open it up, warrior 2. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, Trikonasana. And then you're going to look towards the front of your mat. Bend the front leg, come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose here. Opening it up again. Pressing through that back heel. Strongly, strongly. And then come briefly through a supported warrior 3. Lift up the torso. Lift the leg, come into your stork pose here. Take that left ankle over the right thigh. Sink the hips, figure 4. Bring the hips up. Take the left leg back. Come through your warrior 3 briefly. And then open it out. Ardha Chandrasana. Take that left foot back. Deliver it to the mat. Open it out into your triangle pose. And then you're going to exhale, take that left hand down, bend the front leg, deliver the back knee. Ground down through the left hand, bend the back leg, take that left foot with the right hand. And whichever variation works best for you here. Right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward. And place both hands. Press it back, down dog. Let's take a lion's breath here. So open your mouth and then exhale, stick out your tongue. Great. So here you're going to bring the left foot forward in between your hands. You might want to have some blocks here. If you don't have any handy, that's okay. We're going to come into Ardha Hanumanasana. So straighten out that front leg. Make sure you're not hyperextending it. So if you know that you're prone to hyperextension, make sure that you have a little bit of a bend in this left leg. So you're going to pull this left heel back towards your hips. So it's like you're sucking it in to your hips here. And the same thing with the right knee. And then you can start to shimmy your way towards fuller Hanumanasana. So fuller Hanumanasana for you might look like Ardha Hanumanasana. It might look like this. This is where these blocks are super handy, right? So you can be up like this, making sure that your legs are engaged. So if you're up this far at this point, your legs should be doing most of the work. So you should be able to actually release the blocks. You might be down a little further with your blocks, or just with your hands on your mat if you don't have your blocks right now. But again, the right hip is pulling forward, left hip back. Release your jaw. Release your tongue. Soften your eyes. Great. So, you can get out of this pose however you want to. What I like to try to do is tuck the back foot and then suck this left leg back. And you can take it back into a 3-point here. Sometimes the mat wants to come with you. Great. All right, so let's bring the right foot forward in between the hands. Drop the back knee. You might need to wiggle that right foot forward a little bit. Come into Ardha Hanumanasana on the right side. Get some length. And then start to take that right leg forward, if you wish. Left leg back. And remember, your sides are going to be different. So really pulling that right hip back, left hip forward. Again, blocks, or if you have just a little bit of space under here, you can also put a rolled blanket under your pelvis. That works. Breathing into any sensations, listening to your body. Deep, full breaths. Great. And again, however you'd like to come out of the pose. And then from here, you can lower down onto your knees. And we're going to come into Gomukhasana from here. Okay? So let's take the left leg down first. So that knee, so you're going to square your hips to the front of your mat. And this left knee is going to do its best to come to the center of your body. And then you're going to bring the right leg over on top. So Gomukhasana means cow face pose. I guess it does kind of look like a cow face. So again, you want to make sure that the outsides of your feet, so the pinky sides of your feet, are pressing into the mat. This is going to ensure that we keep the knee safe. The knee really only wants to move this way, not this way. So if this pose is super easy for you, you can also move your feet more towards the front edge of your mat. If it doesn't work for you at all, then you can just take a cross-legged seat. If you'd like to take it even further, you can start to walk your hands forward. Just make sure that your sitting bones are still on the mat. We never want those sitting bones to lift up off the mat.
And inhale, lift up. And we'll just reverse the legs. So I am mirroring you this time. So your right leg is going to be on bottom, left leg on top, unless you already did this side, in which case you can do the other side. So as much as possible, you want to try to have each sits bone the weight evenly distributed, but most likely the left one is going to be pulling up right now if your left leg is on top. So just know that that's okay, but see if you can kind of move towards taking that left sits bone a little bit further down towards the mat. And then inhale, lift up, and exhale, fold forward if that is accessible to you. Otherwise, this is plenty right here, or even you're cross-legged. And inhale, come up. Let's take the legs out in front and just shake the legs out a little bit here. That feels good. And then we're going to actually do double pigeon. So you're going to take your left leg on the bottom, right leg on top. Again, cross-legged is a completely viable option here. So you'll notice that for me right now, I have a lot of space in between the leg and the knee. In between the ankle and the knee. So I'm going to put a block there. Again, feet are flexed. So this left foot, the outer left foot is pressing down into the mat, and the outer right foot is as if it's pressing down into the mat. And if you do want to come forward here, you certainly can. Again, making sure that the sits bones are staying on the mat, on the floor, on the earth. And inhale, come up. Let's take our legs out in front of us again. Let's do that bounce. I like that. That feels good. And then you're going to take right leg on the bottom, left leg on top. Again, just see where you are to begin with. You may want to start out with a block or a blanket or a pillow in between the knee and ankle. And what I find for my body is that that space begins to get smaller as I'm in the pose. So that's kind of where a blanket might come in handy, because you can kind of push into the blanket a little bit. And if you want to take it forward. And inhale, lift it up, straighten the legs out in front of you. And let's give them a little bit of a shake again here. And then slowly begin to lower onto your back. You can hold on to the backs of your legs. I usually have us go through Navasana here, but we'll just do that for today. Great. So bring your knees in towards your chest. Maybe roll back and forth a little bit, giving that sacrum a little bit of love back there. So that's a part of this sacral chakra area that we're talking about here. And then you can place both of your feet onto the mat. Lift your hips up and take your hips to the right. Take your arms out wide and take your knees over to the left for a spinal twist here. And you can look over your right arm. And inhale, come back through center, place your feet. Take your hips over to the left this time. And take your knees over to the right. And you're going to gaze over your left arm. Inhale, bring it back through center. Inhale your knees into your chest again. And maybe take a happy baby here if you'd like to. Maybe take your legs up into the air. Just get a little bit more of an inversion. Down dog's an inversion too, though. Uttanasana is an inversion. And then you're going to slowly come into your Shavasana here. So your feet are as wide as your mat. Arms are away from the body, palms facing up. Spine is nice and long. Release your jaw. Release your tongue. Soften your eyes. Let it go and let it be. And I said to my body, softly, I want to be your friend. It took a long breath and replied, I've been waiting my whole life for this. Begin to deepen your breath. Start to bring small movements into your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe stretch your arms up overhead and reach out through your legs, through your feet. See how tall you've gotten today. And then bring your knees into your chest. Roll to one side or the other, eyes closed. Stay here for a few moments. Taking the time here to appreciate yourself, to give yourself some really delicious love and appreciation. And your body some love and appreciation for showing up today, for taking this time for yourself. And then lovingly press yourself up to a seated position. Keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands to heart center, pressing your sternum into your thumbs. Thumbs into your sternum, tall through your spine. And we'll seal our practice today with 3 ohms. Take a nice deep breath in. And this infinitely creative, easy to navigate change place and bright loving heart that is within me, that is me, honors, acknowledges, sees, and bows to that infinitely creative space, that easily able to navigate space and bright, loving, beautiful heart that is within each of you, that is each of you. Namaste. Thank you.